Check out the links in my description for more information, for more resources. Check out the podcast. Check out the Facebook groups. Just check out the links. There's a lot of great stuff there. Comment, rate, subscribe, share, like, dislike, whatever you want to do. This is my Bulma board control deck. Copy of the leader. 4 Oceania Shenron, 4 Shenron Figure Majesty, 4 Vegeta Exploding Weakness, 4 Broly returning a villainous threat, 4 Kaioken Goku, 4 Gohan facing the Android Terror, 4 Goku Resolve Mute, 4 Videl Miraculous Aid, 4 Krillin at the ready, 4 Nappa Super Combo, 4 Tetzen Opposition, 4 Gohan the Awaken, 4 King Piccolo Giant Force, and 1 Super Saiyan 3 Gohanks. So we have multiple board wipes in the deck. We have 2 that can be applied during your opponent's turn, Vegeta Exploding Weakness, and Gohan facing the Android Terror, which is nice that it has the active battle ability where you can pay 1 energy. Your leader card is red. If you have 4 or less life, you can play this card from your hand, then triggers as first auto. When this card, is played, choose a total of up to 7 of your opponent's battle cards and or unison card, and they get minus 10k power for the turn. Additionally, if you choose 5 or more cards with this skill, this card gets plus k power and double strike for the turn. So, in other words, if you use this on your turn, which is nice to have, right, the ability to board wipe on your turn, right, potentially board wipe by reducing the power of all your opponent's battle cards and unisons by 10k, and then you'll get the 10k and double strike, so you'll be 25k double strike. So it's helpful in that regards. So you can obviously try to use it as a finisher, but the main thing is being able to play it on your opponent's turn, especially during active battle, to clear your opponent's board. Which is a nice battle trick. So it's somewhat of a upgrade / downgrade version of Vegeta Exploiting Weakness. You have 8 cards in your deck that can minus the power of your opponent's battle cards. Obviously, if you play Vegeta and Gohan in the same turn, you'll be able to minus 30k to all your opponent's battle cards, but have the added ability to minus their unisons, which is always nice to be able to minus your opponent's unisons since they are a threat. So there's that. Of course, he's the Red Saint, so become a blocker, just like Vegeta will become a blocker. Vegeta gives you the added benefit of giving your leader 5k power on top of, obviously becoming a blocker from the leader's effect, so further defensive capabilities there. Then we have our board wipe cards, our Broly, Kaioken Goku. The board wipes for your turn, right? So the board wipes, so just play from your hand. This does 20k power or less battle cards, and it has deflect. Also has the active main ability where you can pay 2 reds, discard this card from your hand to target 1 opponent's battle cards, negative, ignoring better, negative 25k power from that. So you can do this, right, and then swing with something like your leader, for example, and then do this active battle to further decrease your opponent's power. Obviously, you can do active main. That's a nice thing. This has active main and battle. So you'll mainly do the battle part of this on your opponent's turn more often, but you can do this as a main. So you can pay 2, drop this, and then minus 25k from something, and then drop this, minus 10k extra. So you could take down something that's 35k. Those 2 for 3 energy. So there's synergy there. And then Broly has the, when you play this card from your hand, it gets triple strike, so it'll be a 25k with triple strike, 4 drop. And then if your opponent has 3 or more energy, when this card is played, choose all of your opponent's battle cards, and they get negative 25k power. So this, KOs more, because this is 5k more than Vegeta's effect, and 5k more than Goku's effect. When it comes to clearing your opponent's board. So it's a slightly stronger version of those 2. So it depends on the situation, obviously. Plus the fact that it becomes a 25k triple strike, so it has the potential to be a finisher. Has the villainous skill, so that could become a factor if you play one of him and then later on play another copy of him. You'll trigger the first one and get to pluck a card out. Your opponent discards a card from the hand, so that could be relevant. I do expect more villainous cards that are red Saiyans, red Earthlings, to be able to try and make a villainous Bulma deck. Because being able to play villainous cards as an engine to keep ripping cards out of one's hand would be kind of nice to have. So while you're drawing cards for Bulma, you'll be ripping cards out of one's hand. So that'd be kind of nice to incorporate that in a future build. We have our defensive cards, our Goku. You can negate an attack, put it into play, and it becomes a blocker, so you can potentially stop 2 attacks with that. And it's a red Saiyan, so that's an important detail because it synergizes with the Miraculous Aid, which has the ability to, when you player bottom deck a Saiyan or Earthling battle card to the bottom of your deck in order to add a 3-cost or less red or yellow Saiyan or Earthling to your hand. And obviously, we mainly target our 3-cost or less red Saiyans. This card specifically adds Saiyans to our hand, 3-cost or less. So that's where our Gohan, our Goku, our Kaioken Goku, comes into play. Our Nappa, which is a red super combo, because it doesn't say mono red, obviously. It just says red. And she's, counts as Saiyan, so you can also grab herself. She's in the drop. And of course, she'll become a blocker. Krillin, he's Earthling red. He'll become a blocker. He has the auto that once per turn, if it's your opponent's turn, when your opponent plays a battle card with 15k power or more, you can look at the top 5 cards of your deck and add a red Saiyan with energy cost 5 or less from among them to your hand, shuffle your deck. So this is an extra draw engine, especially if you have multiple copies of Krillin in play. You'll get to look at the top 5, add a card, look at the top 5, add a card, right? So it just acts as a draw engine, so whenever your opponent pays a battle card 15k or higher on their turn, once per turn, obviously, right? You'll be able to essentially, search. So being able to search instead of just straight up draw is a lot more powerful. Gives you the ability, to obviously pick and choose what you want. Does 5 or less, so obviously you can grab stuff like, Vegeta Exploding Weakness, which will definitely be nice to have. Especially if they play another battle card or play something, you'd be like, bang, drop this, wipe your opponent's board. Being able to use this to just grab your super combos, so that you can use it to try to combo out an attack, and also it hits the field and it becomes a blocker. So this is a free defensive card, so you can potentially stop 2 attacks with your super combo. Then we have touchdown position to gain attack and make a token that's also a blocker. So you can potentially stop 2 attacks with this. And you can play this for free by taking a life when you have 5 or less life. Then we have Gohan, the Awakened. This is basically like this is definitely the workhorse unison in the deck because of its inherently it's a blocker, right? It has the auto that at the end of turn you switch attack mode, which means you can take advantage of attacking with this. It has the +1 auto ability that when you use a mono red battle card in a combo, draw a card. So that comes in handy, especially when you're combo Nappa. You'll be able to replace Nappa by drawing a card, so it makes it extra good in that synergy. And then of course Nappa will be a blocker, further increasing defenses. And then additionally, if a battle card with 20k power or more is in your battle area, this card gets a double strike for the turn. So if you combo on your turn, and then you have a battle card with 20k power or more, and we have a couple battle cards in here that's already 20k plus, you'll be able to trigger this effect of giving this thing double strike so that we can swing with it, potentially do 2 damage with it, right? Then it has the +0 active main. Choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, and it gets -15k power for the turn. So more often than not, the +1 auto will be triggered more often on your opponent's turn. So on your turn, you'll do the active main and just minus 15k from your opponent's battle card. Swing with it, right? At the end of the turn, you switch it back to active mode, and then on your opponent's turn, combo defensively, you'll be able to draw and keep your hand size a little thick, prevent it from getting too low. And then of course he's a blocker, so you'll be able to block with him obviously. But being able to minus 15k from a battle card every turn will be useful because it helps you keep control of the board. And then of course you can combine this with other cards that also minus stuff, or you can just use this to weaken something. That way your Kaioken Goku can hit it, because Kaioken Goku KOs 20k or less, and then all your other cards can also be combined to minus your opponent's battle cards. So there's synergy there. Then we have King Piccolo Giant Force, which is our deck's main win card. Obviously, you can win through a triple strike, double strike, in a huge hand size, but and we have super counts, right? But this would be our main way of winning the game, because it's typically not that hard to get your opponent down to 2 life, but you can kill your opponent when they're at 4. But with this deck, especially, we have a side we have a Z deck, so we're typically going to get our opponent down to 3 to 2 life, and then try to finish them off with this. So what you do with this, obviously, you're going to have Shenron Figure Majesty, so you can get to untap 2 energies, and then use your leader's ability to awaken to untap 2 energies. That way, on turn 6, the earliest, you can play this. Right? You play this for 4 energy, so that way it has 4 markers. Then untap those 4 energy with Shenron, right? Untapping 2, the leader untapping 2. So that way you're back to 6 energy. You need a minimum of 4 red energy, right? So minus the 4 markers, pay the 4 red, plus 2x to do its effect of dealing 2 damage to your opponent. Because X, you pay 2 extra for the X. So a total 6 energy to deal your opponent 2 damage and finish them off that way. And then we have our SS3 Gohanks Ultimate Dual Attack, 25k blocker. So it has the auto that when you play this card, choose all of your opponent's battle cards ignoring barrier, which is very powerful, right? And they get minus 5 power for the turn. So it's a lot like the Broly, except it actually ignores barrier. Plus 1 auto. When your opponent attacks with a battle card, you can choose that battle card and it gets minus 25k power and you get a marker. And then has the minus 4 ability, active main, choose this card. This card gets 15k power and triple strike for the turn. And at the end of the turn, switch this card to active mode, so it'll be a 40k triple strike. So obviously you can use it as a finisher. And then, it restands at the end of the turn. And it's a dual attack, so you can attack with it twice. So you have the potential to do 6 damage just with this alone, or at least get two swings to try to, triple strike your opponent for game. But if you don't succeed, well, at least it'll restand, so you can use it to block and do its +1 auto, so you can potentially stop 2 attacks. So it's really nice to have something that you can use as a finisher. But if you don't finish the game, then at least you have defense, because the clapback is real. So you always want to make sure you can always defend against the clapback. Always defend against the clapback. And that's the end of the video. Nope, sorry, keep forgetting. Obviously, Oceana's Floodgate. It's a blocker, so you can stop an attack with it. We already mentioned Shenron Figure Majesty, letting you untap 2 energy by drawing a card and having 7 more cards in your drop. But the thing I wanted to get to was, I almost forgot. Keep forgetting because I don't see it. It's the Z Zone. Z deck. We got 2 Gohans at the ready. We got 2 SS Gogeta facing fierce foes. We got 1 Goku Defender of Life. This is how we'll burn our opponent from 4 to 3. So it's one way to guarantee we can get our point from 4 to 3. Because typically most people will let you get them down to 4, but then they'll try to prevent you from dealing them damage. This is a way we can bypass by burning them for 1, and then get them down to 3, and we should be able to get them down to 2 afterwards with a couple of, one attack we'll have to get through, and then we can just finish them off with the Unison, the King Piccolo, and then we have 2 copies of alternate Goku Unthinking. Onslaught, he's Deflect, Barrier, Dual Attack, so he's a 20k, they can attack twice, so obviously you can use him as a finisher, and he has the auto, at the end of the turn, obviously you can switch him to, he has 2 autos. The second auto is at the end of the turn, switch this card to active mode. And obviously with Bulma, he'll become a blocker. So he's a blocker with the blocker with barrier, so he's a barrier blocker. He has dual attack, so you can attack with him twice because, he's 20k, so attack with him twice, take advantage of that. And then at the end of the turn, we stand him so that we can block. So that's this leader, he's awesome, right? And then auto limit 1, if this card is in rest mode, more likely because you block with him, and you discard 1 card from your hand. When you use one of your red skillless battle cards in a combo, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards. Choose up to one of your cards and give 5k power for the turn. Obviously, you would choose your leader to do that. Now, this deck doesn't have skillless battle card, but if it did have skillless battle card, then obviously that would trigger in. Right now, we're just using it for deflect, barrier, dual attack, blocker. So the fact we can attack with it twice and use it as a blocker is why we have it. I can mention this. It has deflect, which is very nice, obviously, especially for the fact that we're going to burn with it when you play it. You burn your opponent with it. So it's anytime your opponent has 4 more life, bang, you deal them 1 damage. By playing this, has deflect and double strike, so it's 20k double strike, so you could use it to obviously get them down from 3, because they'll be down to 3 by the effect, and then you can try to get them down to 1 afterwards, so it's technically 3 damage just by playing it. And then we have Gogeta. He has the permanent that he can't be KO'd, so that's, and deflect, and of course it'll be a blocker, just like this will be a blocker. They'll all become blockers, obviously. And then that's it. He's a deflect, can't be KO'd blocker, essentially. That's the idea. He's cheap, so it'll be easy to get him out there as a 15k blocker that can't be KO'd. So it'll come in handy against any deck that has habit of being able to kill things. The fact that this can't be KO'd is helpful against anything that says ignoring barrier, try to KO something. It's like, well, since it can't be KO'd, that's irrelevant. So it's a way of getting past some problematic cards. However, you can guarantee you have a blocker at least, right? And then we have Gohan. He's already inherently a blocker, and that's just mainly, obviously in this deck he would have became a blocker, but it doesn't matter. He already inherently is a blocker, and it's just a low cost blocker in case for some reason you have no battle cards to play and turn into blockers. At least you have this as an option. Or if you play something and swing with it, and it's like, okay, I got nothing, I can play this cheap that's a blocker, you inherently have this in your sideboard for that. Or if you go up against hand control or some reason you don't have a lot of hand size when you should have a lot of hand size with Bulma. Let's say you don't and you need to defend yourself, then that's where that little guy comes in. Now that's the end of the video.